You can't? Okay, we have
Such a narrow frame.
I know. We need like a big screen. We have America's most beautiful man here with us today. One of my new friends on LinkedIn was like,
The beautiful
"Gosh, that's
man.
a beautiful man."
Just
She
makes
is.
for awkward
Britta,
conversation
how are
later.
you, girl? Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Okay, so if you're coming in on Facebook or LinkedIn, pop a comment so we can see that you're here. We're so glad you're here this morning. Jason's got the singing bowl rolling. Okay, so oh my gosh, I love the hearts. You're my favorite. Thank you. So I wanted to pop on. Oh, you're so much taller than me.
I can't help it.
You wanted to be taller than me, though. He doesn't like being shorter than me.
You,
I have a hair
you
in my
wanted me to
eye.
be shorter than
I
you.
did. I know. It makes me feel
I'm gonna run.
dominant.
You know what? Get out of this. This is a disaster.
This is a disaster. We should stop. Okay, so I wanted to come on to talk about. Okay, we're done with that. To talk about, what are we talking about? Tesla manifestation update, and then I'm going to talk with you about then I'm going to talk with you about how to leverage quantum physics to grow your sales, which I'm really pumped about. So, oh hey, we've got Chloe coming in. Shamay, am I saying your name correctly? Shell, I'm so glad you're here. All right, y'all. So let's talk about. Oh, Chloe, you're here on LinkedIn. So good to see you. So let's talk about your Tesla, babe. And I just again, like if you guys haven't seen the original video I did, when did we do that? Like a month ago, something like that.
Yeah,
I think. And I just wanted to take you guys on the journey of manifestation, like with us, because so often we see, hey, Shell, so often we see the after of someone who's done like a big quantum leap or something, and it's like we don't know what they actually did in the process. So we decided a little while ago that we wanted to get you a new car because Jason still is he's driving the car from college. It's like 12 years old or right after college, right?
Yeah, I bought it brand new off the lot.
And it's Nina. Like we love Nina. We're super grateful for her, but Jason has been so supportive of me and like in just living my vision and dream. And I was like, this is something I really want to do for you. And you've liked this car for a while and it's more eco-friendly and all the things. So anyway, we just wanted to pop in and give you an update of where we're at with that. So you can kind of just see again, whatever the big thing is that you're looking to manifest in your life, whether it's financial or otherwise, you can kind of take the same principles and follow the journey and apply it to your own journey. So I've done a couple of update videos along the way. There have been like some times when I felt really great. There have been some times when I felt like, what am I doing? This isn't going to happen, right? So like it's the whole journey, and that's normal. But so where we're at right now is the money has actually come in that would like we could go ahead and buy it now as if we wanted to, which is fabulous, which I'm so grateful for. So that's like within a month, we created the money through the program I'm doing right now. 10K
Well,
Club.
your brainstem created all that.
My brainstem.
Frontal cortex, neocortex.
Yeah, we created system. It through the neocortex. So he's in DO school. He's going into DO school. So you're going to hear all the sciencey stuff. But yeah, so that was. So that's really exciting. But then the other thing that has come up for us along the way is actually a bigger desire for Jason to be able to leave work like pretty much full time so that you can just like focus fully on your school. So we decided, hey, like we're still calling in that Tesla, like it's happening. We're super excited. But right now we're going to leverage those resources to allow him to retire mostly so that you can go all in on school. So we haven't planned this. Like I have no idea what he's going to say. So this could go any which way, but how are you feeling about that? Like, how are you feeling about where we are in the process?
How am I feeling?
Well, or whatever else you want to say about it. We didn't plan this at all. So
no, she told me this morning.
I was like, I need you to go.
Oh, that's good. So that's why I was just chugging coffee now.
Because I'm playing the singing bowl.
Yeah.
To get in the vibe of it.
That's how I feel about things. So I think one of the things I was thinking about the other day. This isn't about how I felt. This is about when you buy a new car, you suddenly see the new car everywhere.
That is true.
Now, we've been in a bath of Teslas as we've walked around.
We walk around and he's like, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one.
Yeah.
And when I was not in a good, I just want to add, when I wasn't in a good place emotionally about it, I didn't see any. I don't know if you saw, I didn't see any.
I'm always in a good place emotionally.
I'm sure you are. No, you are. I know. I love you.
My emotional state is high top peak.
Yeah, you're top peak all the time.
So I think we should rewind a little bit because you sprung a little bit of new information on everybody that I'm going, because I work in healthcare, if you didn't know that. And then I'm going to be going PRN or as needed at work to kind of reduce my schedule even further. So I've already gone part-time, but bath of Tesla. Yes, it's a bath of Tesla.
Yes.
It's a little bit uncomfortable because it's all metal, but so school this year is MCAT plus, which if you don't know what an MCAT is, it's the entry level exam for MD or DO school, and it's like a 5 to 7 hour exam. So
sounds miserable.
Yeah,
you're gonna do
it's like the SAT times a billion.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of prerequisites to get finished. So there's not much time to actually do healthcare work, and who needs to anyways?
Well, you're being called to do something else right now.
My calling is much different than just hospital work. So anyway, the Tesla part of it, I think we're gonna put it on hold. Like we could have bought it the first go around.
I don't know if we're put it on hold, but we're prioritizing differently. I'm ready for it. Like if it drives up today, I'll be.
If you're gonna look at it as a leaderboard, it's like the Tesla went down to second place, and like less time at work went up to first place.
So, yeah. So we're doing that right now.
Yeah, I think there's one important distinction through all this though, is that she's making all well, not all the money, but she's making the breadwinner portion of the money, to use an older term. But that doesn't mean that I can just sit back and kind of not do anything in my life. That means that you have to be supportive of this one. So your responsibilities, my responsibilities have changed a little bit. Yeah. Since I'm wearing my dad hat today.
It's so great. I love it. I love it.
Which is figurative and literal. So it, she needs time to work and to focus and to kind of relax herself. So even though I'm in school, it's not full-time school. I have a much more flexible schedule when it comes to working less and schooling more. So I can take care of the little guy. So it's, I think I'm just going to go out in there and say, if you're the man in the house and you are supporting them in their endeavor, you have to be supportive of them. You can't go backtrack and say, oh, now I want to go do this stuff, and just expect her to drop everything to accommodate your schedule. Like you kind of have to. You
laying some truth this morning.
You got to work. I can't just be like, well, now I'm going to work more at work, and that kind of puts more pressure on her at home because she works from home, and it's not fair in any respect of the word. But like if you work together on specific pathways towards something, so in this case it's a Tesla and less work and DO school at the end of the year for me. She is ramping everything up right now. I'm able to support her more, and therefore like whatever we put into the field, as it were, we can manifest. So it's all encompassing. Like if you're gonna be a unit, you have to work as a unit. You can't just be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and do whatever you're gonna do. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. Because if you're about to, it's like you're in a business meeting and you all agree at the table, and then you walk out of there and be like, Dan is full of shit. I don't know what he's about to do, but this company is going to go under because of him. And then you're not in agreement outside, nothing gets done in the business. And it's the same thing as a marriage, and it's the same thing as the vibration, because people know that you're just being fake up front. So you can't have the fake vibration up front. You have to have it together, and it has to be in key. And even if it's a lower kind of, flickering flame vibration in my way, because she's over here, having her like in-depth morning, and I'm upstairs, I'm doing my meditation, and
I feel things more strongly than you is what you're saying.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Which is, I just think that's just me. And that's probably why I'm also able to work in the high intensity environment that I do, because I do deal with death and dying on a very regular basis. There was a 2-week period where I didn't deal with it. Or I didn't not deal with it every single day. So
babe, I'm just taking a look at, oh my gosh, these comments are so great. So it's okay. Onyekachi, you go by OJ, right? I think I'm remembering that correctly. My wife and I work together and everything. It's more powerful. Lee, you're here. Lee, I'm so glad you're here. It's so good to see you this morning. Oh, thank you, my friend. We've got Chloe Brennan saying, come to Tesla, come to Portland.
Tesla Town.
We've got the podcaster's journey. We've got Kiara. Hello. So yeah, that's the update. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. I'm going to do a little bit of training this morning on how to use quantum physics to grow your sales, because that just like pumps me up, because you can literally bend time and space and do things so differently from what you've been taught. Hey, we've got Patty, we've got Tanya. Oh my gosh, ladies, good morning. Is there anything else you want to say, baby?
Wave.
He's waving it out everyone.
Wave.
Babe, is there anything else you want to say about that before I go into some quantum physics teaching?
Yeah, I think logic is kind of the enemy.
Oh, babe. It is true. I will say that. I'm so glad you said that, because literally when I was deciding to make all the leaps at the end of last year, like before any of the extra money had come in, before like new program had been launched, my brain wanted to tell me everything I was doing was so irrational and didn't make any logical sense. And your brain will do that because it's designed to keep you quote unquote safe, which means keeping you exactly where you are. So you have to learn. It's not that we don't use our brains, but you have to learn how to use your brain as the powerful creation tool it can be to think about what you want to think, not about what you don't want to have happen. And you've got to get out of here into your heart. So anyway, I'm passionate about that. Do you want to say anything else about logic?
If there's dudes listening, I think they'll relate to the fact that men want to figure out, they want a problem, and we want to figure it out and fix the problem. The field that we're connecting to it will help you do what you're going to do. So if you're focusing in a negative vibration of whatever, then negative things are more likely to happen to you. Yes. And if you're in the more positive vibration of things, then positive things are more likely to happen to you. Yep. Damn it! Can't get away from
LinkedIn. Let's keep the cursing to it. It's okay. I curse sometimes.
My potty mouth is not good.
It's okay.
But the logic is your human brain saying, I want to understand it. I want to break it down, and I want to define it. And it's not definable, which is really frustrating to initially to me, because I wanted to know exactly what it was, right? Yeah. But you just have to know that if you're feeling like she said, if you're feeling it in your heart muscles are actually they beat on their own. It's literally a brain in your chest. Its own brain, yeah. Right. Your cortex up here and your brain stem actually do help to go higher up with your heart rate, but your heart generally beats on its own, and it knows how to do that. It's a very intelligent part of you. So your heart and your gut and your brain, they all kind of work in sync. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of have to be in tune with yourself when you're going through all this stuff, and try to just get rid of logic, because it's not going to work out if you keep trying to define everything that you're doing. It's not only going to be procrastination in your overall goal, but it's not going to feel good when you're actually done, because you're not going to remember the definitions that you did. And overall, it's just, it's not productive. So
yeah. No, I think that's great,
babe. Go teach about quantum physics.
Okay. I love you. Thank you for hopping on and talking about this. Guys, give some love to Jason, the world's most beautiful man. I'm so glad he popped on. So, all right, guys. Yeah. So I just wanted to give an update on that, so you can kind of see like where we are in the process. I feel like I'm like really low on Instagram. Okay, we're going to do that. So here's the other thing I wanted to just share with you this morning, because I actually think where Jason left everything with, like, you have to get out of trying to be so logical about it is so true, because your level of thinking and your model of the world has created the results that are happening in your life right now. Now, for the people who follow me, a lot of you are either entrepreneurs or you're in sales. So I'm going to speak directly to sales here, but this applies to anything in your life. And one of the ways that I personally was able to create that big financial quantum leap of going from $10,000 months to $100,000 months in 6 weeks is I leveraged quantum physics. It's what it is. And so I wanted to just do like a little bit of a dive into that this morning, because this is what I teach the women in my program how to do. And it literally allows you to play by different rules. It does. It allows you to bend time and space and do things totally differently, which is, it's like you can have a great sales script, but if you don't know how to do this and how to create a model of reality that allows you to get results like that, then you're just like fighting with one hand tied behind your back. So there's kind of the old model of reality is the model of cause and effect. And a lot of this too, if you guys follow me, like, I talk a lot about Dr. Joe Dispenza. A lot of this is stuff I've learned from him. And I'm a huge advocate and believer in what he teaches. So go follow him and start doing his meditations if you're not yet, because they're incredible. But the old model of cause and effect means you're waiting for something outside of you to determine how you're going to feel. And you have to think about that too, right? Like throughout the day, how do you typically feel? And what is it a result of? So do you feel fear when you look at your bank account and feel like it's not going to cover the bills this month? Do you feel fear when you turn on the news? Do you feel scarcity when you hear someone talking about how there's not enough opportunity? So the way that most people determine how they feel is by what's going on outside of them. Okay, we allow outside influences to dictate how we're going to feel. And you're basically at effect of your environment. Well, how you feel, how you think, and how you feel are the things that create your reality. And this is why it is so critically important. So Dr. Joe talks about the thought. So the thought signals the event. So what you think about, it's like you're kind of projecting it out into, Jason talked about the void, the void, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. But the thought signals the event, but the emotion draws it back in. That's your energy field. And you don't get what you want in this world, you get what you are. So whatever the energy is that you're putting out, that is you're going to attract things back into your life that are that level of energy. So if you feel guilt, you're going to attract more things to feel guilty about. If you feel gratitude without anything actually having happened yet that would make you feel gratitude, then you're going to attract things to be grateful for. So the way you think and the way you feel determine your experience and determine what happens on the outside of your world. But the old model is how most of us live. And it's how I live, because I wasn't taught this for most of my life, which is why I lived in anxiety, fear, scarcity, guilt, because I would look at things around me and I would allow them to determine how I felt. So here's the quantum model of reality. And this is where you get to shift it on its head and you get to make your own rules. The quantum model of reality is you are causing an effect. You are causing an effect in your outer world. And so here's how it works. The moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, then you're generating wealth. The moment you feel, and this is all the stuff Dr. Joe talks about, like the moment you're in love with yourself and your life, that's when you create that equal partner. The moment, and this really hit me this morning because I'm in the process of healing some skin cancer. And he talked about like the moment you feel whole is the moment that your healing begins. But you have to feel it first. You have to feel it first. And this is the thing where we get it all twisted and we think, well, I'm going to feel that when it happens in my outer world. No, it's not how it works. You're going to get in your outer world the exact equivalent of whatever you're thinking and feeling. That is how it works. And I'm telling you from someone who came from massive scarcity mindset and massive anxiety around money and sales and business and even love for so long. Like I lived that way. And now I've lived the other way. And I'm telling you, it works. So if you're listening to this and you're like, it's not my life experience, I would say, take a look at what's in your life experience and decide if it's what you want. And if it's not, then open your mind up to maybe if you just tried this. Maybe if you just tried this thinking on for size and just did an experiment for 30 days and said, I'm just going to experiment and I'm going to practice feeling good. And I'm going to practice feeling abundant. And I'm going to practice feeling feeling worthy of what I want. And let me just see what starts to shift and come in. Now, the place where we tend to get it twisted is that we live in time lag. So when you start doing this, it may be a couple of weeks, it may be a couple of months before it changes in your physical world. Like for me, when I made, if you've been listening to my podcast and following me, you know, then in December I decided to invest like half of what I made all last year in a coach because I just felt intuitively called to do it. And I knew that if I was hitting like low six figures in my business and I wanted to hit 7, then I needed to know how someone who's at 7+ thinks. But I knew it was also going to require investing at a really high level that made me massively uncomfortable. But in that process of doing it, it got me so out of the realm of what my reality was before, where suddenly it was like I was having to step out in total faith that what I was feeling called to do was right. I also knew it was going to bring up all my old limiting beliefs around money, and it did. So I spent around like 3 weeks kind of wobbling and feeling like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? The money hasn't come in yet. Like, did I just make a huge mistake? And I took myself through this process that we're talking about today of really, so I did a lot of work on mindset, rewiring limiting beliefs, starting to really just practice every morning, feeling gratitude for money and for abundance and for opportunities and possibilities before they had come in. And within 6 weeks, $120,000 came in. That was what I made the whole last year. But it was that 6-week period. And it was about 3 weeks of wobble. So then it was like after that, 3 weeks of, okay, I got it. It started clicking. I was feeling good. I was feeling abundant. I was feeling grateful before anything had changed in my outer world. And that's how it works. But you get to that point where you feel so good and you feel so grateful and you feel so abundant that it's like, it doesn't matter anymore what happens in the outer world, because the only reason that you want more money is because you think it's going to make you feel a certain way. The only reason you want a partner is because you think it's going to make you feel a certain way. So the trick is you got to feel it first. And you have to start showing up as that person who has the reality that you desire before it's going to happen in the physical world for you. So I had a little sticky note on my computer that said, and it's kind of like silly, especially the men in my audience, you guys will probably laugh at me, but it was just, it made me feel good. It said, I'm a 7-figure boss babe. What would she be doing right now? What would she do in this situation? And I started embodying that reality and thinking of myself as a 7-figure business owner and entrepreneur before the money came in. But because I started taking on that identity, and because we don't get what we want, we get what we are, it was literally only a matter of time. And I knew that, and I trusted and had that faith that within, and I didn't get to control the timeline either. That's the other thing. Like when we get so kinked up about the timeline of when we think something has to happen, we create unnecessary friction and resistance to it. So I kind of just surrendered and I said, it's going to happen when it happens. In the meantime, all I care about is feeling good. That's it. All I care about is feeling good. All I care about is feeling gratitude, because I know when I feel those ways, I'm going to draw things back to me that match that emotional signature, that vibration. It's how it works at a quantum level. So if you're looking to grow your sales, if you're looking to grow your business, make more money, you've got to start feeling and showing up as the person who is already bringing in sales at the level that you want to. And think about, how does she feel? What does she say? How does she think? What does she do every day? How grateful do you feel that the money has already come in? And you've got to start doing that and practicing that and having that faith of, okay, I know I live in time lag. And you can know that too, just by looking at like everything in your reality right now. It started with a thought. The house you live in, the car you drive, the whatever you like, coffee you drank this morning, you had the thought of it before it happened, right? So you created that. You are the creator of your own reality. You are. But certain things we have more resistance around than others. Certain things we think are harder than others. And I've been feeling inspired. Chloe's saying, practice feeling abundance. Yes, that's it. That's it. And it must come in when you feel it, when you, consistently, it must. I felt inspired recently to do a series in April on how to release resistance to what you want. So I'm going to be doing that. I'll share more details with you guys in the coming week. I think I'm going to be doing it like 8 o'clock every night in April, and just taking you through exercises you can do to release resistance. Because the only thing that blocks that thing that you want from coming in is your resistance around it. And that resistance shows up as limiting beliefs. I can't have it. I'm not worthy of it. It shows it like you feel it in your body. When you think about something and you don't feel good, when you think like, I want to make 6 figures this year, but you feel there's some feeling in you of like fear or self-doubt, or you feel that restriction in your body, that's your body's way of telling you you've got resistance around that. And so that's the only thing that blocks it. That's it, is your own level of belief that you can't have it. And that just comes from conditioning, from childhood conditioning, from societal conditioning. So the people who have the life that you desire and make the money you desire are no different from you, other than they think they can have it. That's it. That's it. They think they can have it. And so your body is this amazingly beautiful guidance system that will tell you when you have resistance to something, because it'll tell you based on how you feel. And so there are certain exercises you can do and thought processes you can have to release your resistance. And who knows, if I hadn't had those 3 weeks of wobble around like doing that leap from $10,000 to $100,000 months, I probably would have called it in sooner. It probably would have come in sooner. It's fine. I don't care. Like it was a awesome journey to be on, and 6 weeks is a short amount of time in the whole scheme of things, right? But it was when I released the resistance to it that it came. And that's how it works, guys. So it's all energy, but that's why I wanted to pop on here and talk about it today, because I've been speaking with women this week as I'm enrolling more women in 10K Club about their dreams. And a lot of them are at, it's just been interesting. Like the women I've been talking to this week, some of them are at 10,000 already or 20,000, and they're looking to like stabilize that and just feel good and tap more into their feminine energy. But like $2,000 months, $3,000 months. And they're like, can I actually get to $10,000 months in 90 days? You get to make your own rules. So this is the thing. When you start showing up and feeling as the woman or man, because I know we've got a mixed audience here, who is bringing in that amount of money, it will come into you. It must. And the only thing that's going to make it last, you have to wait longer than you want, is your own level of resistance around it, your own level of disbelief, your own level of feeling unworthy of it. So as you release those things and you start to vibrate at that $10,000 a month level, it must come in. Now, again, we live in time lag. So it may be a couple weeks, it may be a couple months. That's not really your business. And the more you can remain unattached to when and how it comes in, the faster it will as well. But that's creating in the quantum. And that's why, like, there's nothing, just like if you watch this from the beginning and my husband Jason was on, there's nothing logical about what we're doing here. But logic will mess you up every single time. It will. So we use our brains, but we use them to think about what we want and to start thinking about and thinking as the woman or man who has the things that you want, that you desire. Start getting into the details about it, start getting specific, start imagining and visualizing that, and then emotionalizing that future before it happens. And that's how you make that shift really fast. So I wanted to share that with you because I've been in the sales training, coaching, business coaching space for years. And I've been on this journey for decades. And I was never taught this. I was taught to change the outer, to change the, like, say this script and you'll get the sale, you know, do this thing differently, like pack your calendar fuller and you'll make more money. And I'm telling you, that's matter on matter. What we're talking about here is energy on matter, which is so much more powerful. When you're doing that, it's like when you're trying to change matter by matter, it's like fighting with one hand tied behind your back. You can do it, but it's going to take so much longer than it would if you learned how to harness energy. and how to use quantum physics to get the result you're looking for. So this applies to anything outside of sales too, but I just wanted to share that with you because that's what we're doing here. That's how we bend time and space and create our own reality. That's how we make our own rules and how you can go from 0 to 10 in 90 days. But it starts with understanding how to use this and this, and then how to leverage science and physics as well. So for those of you who are here, if you have any questions on this, I think I've got a few minutes before my first call. I'm happy to answer them if you want to pop it in the chat. OJ is saying that's living by faith. Great example. Yes, yes. Lee's saying, wow. Yeah, it's amazing, guys. It's so amazing. And it's so empowering and liberating when you realize that you are in full control of your whole experience on this planet. You are the most powerful creator there is. And when you realize that you can harness that and create your own reality by how you think and how you feel, then it's so empowering because you realize you're responsible for all of it. And it's not to say like you need to get freaked out about it, but it's to say if there's something in your life that you don't like, you can change it. You can change it. Tanya's saying, what do you do if you face resistance in this thought process from the boss, from the significant other? They still believe in a numbers logic game. Yeah, that's a great question, Tanya. I started on this journey a little bit before Jason. And so I started like really experiencing this before he did. And now that I have, he's all, I mean, you guys saw him with his singing bowl this morning, like he's all about it, right? What I would do, Tanya, is I would only talk to people who are already living out the reality that you want and aligned with the thought process that you're trying to embody in yourself. So you have to cut off consumption from anything that causes you to doubt or waver or believe something different. It is so important. And it's not about being closed-minded, but it's like, there are so many different types of beliefs here on the planet. And that's part of what's cool, right? Is we all get to experience different realities and have different beliefs. But I've got a client, for example, who she's made this shift now. She came from like a massive scarcity mindset and background and a lot of just tough family stuff growing up. And when she first got into the 10K club in the program, she was starting to notice those shifts in herself pretty fast. But then she would go and she would try to talk to her family members about it, who were just living a totally different reality. And they would be like, you're crazy. What are you thinking? Like, why are you doing this? And it would make her doubt herself. You cannot afford self-doubt. So my girlfriend, Allison, says the only things you can't afford are worry, self-doubt, and anxiety. And that is true. So you have to pay attention to what are the resources you're consuming and who are you talking to that are creating anxiety, doubt, those low level vibrations in you, because you can't afford those. They're going to draw back in more things like that to you. So you have to cut it off. So you can be on this journey and not talk to other people about it. I don't talk to most of my family about this because it would just not make sense to them. And that's okay, because we're all on our own journey. But I have enough, whether I had the physical proof or not, when I started thinking this way, the way I shifted from feeling anxious all the time and feeling nervous and feeling constantly just like fearful about stuff to feeling peaceful and feeling good and feeling better than I'd ever felt in my life. Like that was worth it. And it wasn't worth sacrificing that feeling for anything or anyone. So I hope that helps answer the question, Tanya. So it's like you get really careful about who you share with and about who you listen to. And you like, if this message resonates with you, then like stay close to me here on my social, right? Like follow Dr. Joe, follow my girlfriend, Allison. I only take advice from people who are living the life that I want to live. That's it. And when you start thinking about that and look at, okay, maybe my boss is in like a real scarcity mindset about some stuff. If I really like look at what's going on in their life, do I want that for myself? No. Okay, well then why do I care how they think about this? Because their level of thinking is creating that reality for themselves. So it doesn't, like, I don't care what they think, because I don't want to create that reality for myself. Mallory is saying, when I first started my business, I was on cloud 9 just to be open. Everything just poured in. I'm going to get on cloud 9 again and watch it pour in. Yes, Mallory, that's it. You have to be on cloud 9 first. That's exactly how it works. My podcast this week, if you guys haven't listened, I've got one of my clients, Allison the Coursier, on, and she got fired at the beginning of the pandemic. She's like rock star, but she worked in a retail space, in a dental practice. And it was a pandemic. They were like, we're not doing business anymore. So she lost her job, went on to create a new business that had been kind of like, she'd been mulling over it for a while, but she hadn't really done much with it because she'd been so busy with her job. In 3 months, she brought in over 6 figures in 3 months. But what she talks about, and she said this to me because we had a coaching call the other day, she was like, Elise, when this happened, I was hanging out on a beach and I was eating charcuterie. And she was like, I was just so chill and relaxed about everything. And I would open my inbox and these emails were coming in from people who wanted to work with me. No, it's not that there's not work, there's not action involved, because there is action. So the other side of this is when you feel good and you get that instinct to go reach out to someone, to do a live, to do whatever, then you do have to act on that. So that's your responsibility. It's like this series that I'm feeling called to do in April about releasing resistance. And what shows up for me every time I think about it is like, do it at 8 p.m., do it at 8 p.m. Like I personally would rather be winding down and going to bed at 8 p.m. But I'm feeling really good. And this idea keeps dropping in and dropping in. So it's like, I'll do it. Like I'm totally down to do it if that's the best time that I'm meant to do this. So we have to act, but it's that inspired action that comes from a place of calm, that comes from a place of being relaxed about the outcome, that comes from a place of unattachment, because you're already feeling so good that when you get that instinct to act, you just do it. And you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't really care because I already feel good. But those are the actions that are going to take you closer to what you want. So I trust and hope this is making sense for you guys. If you have other questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. These are I love your feedback. I love these questions. They're amazing. Yeah. And so you guys have probably seen on my social media, I've opened 10K Club back up again this week. I'm closing it again on Saturday for enrollment. It is the last time it will be at this level. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't necessarily fully understand how it all works yet, but I'm open-minded to the fact that there's a different way to create my reality. And there's a different way to achieve way more sales and business success in less time. And I'm just like, I'm ready to find out what that is for me. Then I invite you to DM me and I'll tell you how you can apply for it. It's doing things differently. We are doing things differently. This is how we create in that program. And it is powerful and the change is fast. And you're going to start feeling so good that it almost won't matter. Like when the money comes in, you'll be like, oh, cool. Like I was already feeling really good. Oh, cool. Great. This is now I actually have this reality in my bank account too. It's how it works. I had a woman, I was just going to share this too, because I think this is really important, regardless of what coach you're working with. There's a beautiful woman. I did the masterclass this week, Your First 6 Figures, which is how you apply for the program. And beautiful woman on the class, but she mentioned, she said, I'm worried, like I want to do this, but I'm worried because I just invested $10,000 with another coach and like I didn't get the results I was looking for. And this is the shift, guys. I have never once made a coach responsible for my results. Never. Nor will I. You have to take full ownership of the results you're getting. You have to. And if again, like, I don't care if you work with me or somebody else, whoever you hire, you have to take personal ownership and accountability of the results you get. When I invested $50,000 in coaching a few months ago, there was not a bone in my body that gave my power away to this coach to say, okay, she's going to fix me. No, it was like the woman who I have to become to even be able to pay back this coaching investment. She makes zero excuses. She does things differently. She does the things that the Elise that doesn't bring in $100,000 a month would be too afraid to do. And I took personal responsibility, and it was almost like it didn't matter what level of coaching I got from her, even though of course it's been amazing, but it almost didn't matter because of the woman I had to become in the process to believe that I was worth investing in at that level. Does that make sense? So you've got to take personal responsibility. And if you put your results on somebody else, it's not that so you have to speak up, right? You have to speak up. If you're working with someone and you're not getting the results you're looking for, you got to be visible. You got to raise your hand. You got to say, like, I feel like I need more help from you in this area. I'm having a block here. I'm not getting the result I was hoping for. Can we talk about it? Because any of that, like putting your results on somebody else, it's kind of like princess mentality. And that's not, and I have a lot of love for this woman. I think she's incredible. And there were other women in the class too, who like had that same question, But this is the switch, is you have to take personal accountability and responsibility for your results. That's it. So you got to stop giving your power away. And that's kind of to like put a cherry on top of this whole very long life now. That's the theme here, is when you take personal responsibility and accountability to say, this is the situation as it is. This is what's going on in my life right now. I accept that to some extent, like in some way, shape, or form, I was available for this level of results, whether it's something great you're feeling awesome about, or whether it's something you're not feeling great about. And now I know that I can also create a new reality for myself. And I'm taking full responsibility of creating that reality for myself. That's it. So guys, I just, I wanted to share that this morning. Tanya's saying coaching people who pay attention. That is it. And the more you pay, the higher, like one of my mentors said this, and I thought it really made sense. She was like, Elise, if the coaching investment is easy for you, it's probably not the right program for you. And I thought that's actually, and it like this woman has plenty of money. She didn't need my money, but I thought that's actually a really good way to think about it, because if it's like you can pay it and not think about it again, then you're not going to feel motivated to do any of the actual work. So when you pay, like it's not, I'm not about like putting yourself in a panic. That's not what this is about. But when you do something that's really stretchy, like for me, this was super stretchy to invest at that level. I was like, I'm going to do whatever she says. She told me to sing publicly. I sang publicly after not having done it for 2 decades. She told me to start doing reels. I had so much resistance around reels. I thought they were silly. I was like, I'm going to do a reel. And you guys see me dancing like a fool now on Instagram every week because y'all like the ones where I dance, apparently. She's like, look at the metrics. They want you to dance. So here I am dancing. Okay. So when you pay and you pay at a level that really stretches you, that's the catalyst to you actually becoming the person who brings in more money. It's how, again, you are causing an effect outside of you. That's how it works. But you can't wait for the money to come in to do the thing you want to do. You have to start living it, being it, feeling it first, and taking actions and steps that person would do before it will come in. Again, this is the quantum model of reality, and this is how you bend space and time to get the results you're looking for. Whew. All right. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else. Do you guys have questions? Is there anything else? I love these comments. You guys are amazing. Oh my gosh, this was a 45-minute live. I did not expect it to be this long. Okay. I'm going to go because I'm hopping on calls. If you have questions, if you want to get in on the 10K club before it's going to be $1,000 more the next time I run it. So if you want to get in now before it's more, DM me. I'll let you know how to apply. Either way, I love each of you so much. Thank you for being here this morning. If you're watching this later, I hope this spoke to you. And I just think you're incredible. And start thinking in that quantum model of reality. Start thinking about, I create everything by my thoughts and my feelings, and start to watch the shifts happen. It's pretty powerful. All right, loves, we're done for today. I will see you guys soon. Take care.